Okay, so I'm kind of going to do an adult-rated video here. No, I'm not going to strip down to my underwear. But anyway, I'm just listening to the radio here, and an advertisement for breast enlargements comes on the radio. So I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, now they got to advertise big boobs. Well, you know, I've always been the kind of guy that has, you know, felt that any more than a mouthful's a waste. You know? I mean, your hand is only so big. You know, that sort of thing. And I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching, but it's just the truth. Anyway, so this woman goes on the radio, goes on to say, hey, I'm flat-chested, you know, and B cup. I think that's what she said, B cup. I don't think a B cup is that bad, you know, I mean, that's okay. You know, if you got it, you know, that's that. So anyway, she goes on to say in the advertisement that, you know, that she was working out at the gym and she was like, you know, flat-chested, and some girl comes up to her with big perky boobs and is like, oh, I was once flat-chested too, and how much confidence she had, and, you know, how much better life was with bigger boobs. Well, I know some women with big boobs, and I know some women with small boobs. The women with big boobs have backaches, and, you know, they're like always grabbing their boobs when they're going to go run and do things like that, you know, and it's like, oh my God, these things are a pain in the ass. And all the young girls, not young girls, but all the girls with the small boobs are like, well, I don't have those problems, you know, I can run, my back don't hurt, I can play basketball, I can play soccer, and, you know, and then you get the girls with the big boobs and like, well, I used to love to play soccer, but every time I'd run, my boobs would almost hit me in the face, and I'd have to wear 3 sports bras. So, and I'll tell you what, the girls with the small boobs, hey, they said about confidence on this advertisement. Well, you know what? I don't think I know one girl with small boobs that has a problem with confidence. I mean, you walk into a room, they're fairly attractive women. Their boobs aren't so big that they, you know, everybody's looking at their boobs. They look at their face first, you know. It's like, oh wow, she's pretty, you know, or whatever. And if you're a little bit self-conscious about your breasts, they do make the push-up bra, and that will give you the appearance that you have bigger boobs for about 1/1,000,000th the cost. You can go down to the Walmart and pick yourself up a push-up bra. I mean, it isn't a Victoria's Secret, but do you really need to go and spend tens of thousands of dollars to have big boobs that are only going to give you a backache and, you know, other problems? And I'm just talking about natural problems from the weight of them. The other problems are if you go with the silicone, yes, silicone, which they still use those, or the saline, leakage is a problem. So if you're out there playing basketball or you're into rough sex or whatever, and you pop your breast, you're going to have health problems. The saline ones, not so much. The saline ones just kind of leak out into your body, and that's it. And but then you've got one big boob and one small boob. So there you got to go get another surgery to either remove the other big boob, or, well, you got to go for surgery no matter what, because the bag that saline solution was in is still in your body. And you also have the chance of infection and other things like that. Whereas if you had kept your regular sized boobs that you always had, that, you know, if you're worried about a man wanting you because you're, wanting you more because you have big boobs, there was a study done several years ago on men that like big boobs. The men that like huge breasts have lower IQs than men that like, you know, small AB cup size breasts. So if you're a double D lover, maybe you're pumping gas at the gas station, which there's nothing wrong with that. At least you have a job. But if you're a triple D lover, maybe you don't even have a job at all. All you can think about is boobs. Or you got mommy issues, you know, maybe she didn't breastfeed, you know, who the hell knows. But anyway, so this this advertisement went on to talk about, you know, payment plans. So if you've got small boobs and you've got no money, they will give you these, you know, $10 a month for the rest of your miserable life to pay for your boobs, when if you just were happy with what God gave you, then you know, you would have one less expense. So, but of course, there's a doctor for every ailment and a pill to cure everything except for cancer. Not that there couldn't be, they just don't want it to be. And breast implants are stupid, in my opinion. If you have big boobs and you have backaches and, you know, you get this terrible, you know, you got problems because of your boobs, you know, there's a doctor that'll reduce your boob size too. So you got girls that want bigger boobs, girls that have bigger boobs that want to get rid of their boobs. You know, it's just, God. So anyways, and that was the advertisement. You know, we'll make them bigger, we'll make them smaller. They don't care. It just, the end of the story is just give us our money. If you got big boobs and you got backaches, we can make your life better. If you got small boobs with you know, with no confidence, we can really give you a headache with more bills and possible major health problems. So anyways, that's just my booby rant, and if you like that video, there's always more, so please comment, rate, and subscribe.